Imagine going to school tomorrow and the teacher walks in, picks up a piece of chalk and starts writing a question on the board. Now, everyone would start solving. But some students complete it in 5 minutes. Some take 20. Some get it right. Some get it wrong. But imagine, what if the teacher asks one more question? Who found this problem? Nobody, because somebody else already did it. So, actually, we are becoming very, very good in solving the problems created by others. Now, inside the classroom, everything is arranged and organized for us. Like the questions are given, even the answers are available. Somebody else have thought which is more important, and we are reading that one. But the moment when you step out of the classroom, there are no questions and answers available for you. And there is nobody to help you to figure out which is word solving. So think, what happens when nobody gives us a question to solve? I think we start being inquisitive. Let me tell you guys one small story. When Albert Einstein was about 5 years old, his dad gave him a compass. Einstein observed it deeply and he noticed something, that the needle was moving but nothing was touching it. Now Einstein was really very perplexed, and all he had in his mind was just one question: what's making the compass needle move? And it's the same compass, same needle, just one difference. He didn't stop at what he saw. He thought about it. And that's what we call as an inquisitive mindset. Imagine yourself as a child. You used to ask why about everything you see. Like, why is the sky blue in color? And why is the moon following me? Or why can't I breathe underwater? Nobody taught us to ask, but we did. But as time passes, slowly those questions start to disappear. That's where we start to lose something. From my realization, I noticed that problems aren't hidden anywhere. They are right in front of us. But as we used to see them every day, we get used to it and we choose to ignore them. Just remember, observation is something intentional, but looking is passive. So don't just look, observe. From my first observation, I found that the water in the hostel was really very hard and students were suffering from it. And did you know what they did? They started using drinking water to bathe. And now it has become a very big problem. So I started asking why. Why is the student suffering with hard water? Or why should they waste the drinking water? And I asked one question that's really simple. Why can't a student buy a bucket of soft water just like we could buy a cup of tea? And that changed everything. That motivated me to build something. And what came as an end result was a machine which I developed. It's the hard water to soft water vending and conversion system. It works in a very simple way. All you need to do is just bring your bucket, place it over the platform, and select your desired amount of water. And once you complete your payment, the chemical and the water mixes and fills your bucket. Now you got soft water. That's how I solved this very first problem. Later came, once I finished everything, I went back through it and I noticed something, that every solution followed a similar pattern. Let me break down that to you. I observed that the students were suffering from hard water. I questioned why should they suffer and why can't I build something? I connected different domains of engineering like IoT, mechanical design, and even embedded systems. I built it and I improved it. So, I could repeat those 5 steps again. Observe, question, connect, build, and finally improve. So, I guess you all could picturize that loop. Now let me run that deliberately on the very second problem. That's proxy attendance. In our classroom, we used to have facial biometrics as the procedure of attendance, and it used to be placed at the entrance. So what happens is, students used to come, just scan their face, and they just leave out of the classroom instead of entering in. In fact, they were just showing their face to the scanner for 2 seconds, but not even a second to the class. And a teacher stands in front of a half-filled class holding a register which states, everyone is present. I observed this problem. Then I questioned it. I asked, is this system wrong? But the answer for this is, the system is working perfectly for the job it was assigned to. The system was built to find whether the student arrived, and it worked perfectly in that thing. But the question we need to solve is, is the student still here? Then I connected things. So to find whether the student is available or not, I used the technology of RFID. It's the similar technology which our government is using in the FASTag systems. So basically what we did was, I integrated our identity cards with the RF identifier. Then we placed an array of RF readers all over the classroom. So now the classroom is virtually split into zones. Now whenever a student comes and arrives, he used to take a seat, and obviously it falls under any of the zone. Now the attendance is marked not because he came past the doorway, but he is situated in a particular zone for a certain amount of time. I was really very pleased with my work. But I sat down for a while and thought something. If the system just counts the number of tags, why can't the student bring 2 or more tags? And that's when I improved it. So if a student brings 2 tags in his bag and 1 in his pocket, the zone might report that there are 3 students, but actually there are only 1 student. So I observed it again. The loop came back all over again. Then I spotted the security cameras over the classroom. We used to have 2 cameras situated diagonally. So I ran a machine learning algorithm which could count the number of heads of the students in a particular zone. Using that, we got the number of students in the zones. So now we have 2 numbers. One is the number of tags in the grid versus the number of students in the zone. So when we compare both, we could get a solution. So this is how I finished this product. But what I didn't expect was, as I had all this zone occupancy data, we could figure out on which zone a student is available. So based on that, we can operate the electrical appliances like lights and fans. So I got a byproduct of energy conservation as my product. And this kind of thinking kept spreading everywhere. I worked on IoT, agriculture, water management, waste management, and a lot more. And when I started to document all my novel ideas and works, it resulted in 9 patent applications, all in my first year of engineering. So, if you would ask me what led me to those, I wouldn't say it's either intelligence or experience. It was just questioning. I didn't accept with that thing. I kept on questioning, and I built the solution for that. I like a term which is known as inconvenient questions. We used to say that the most useful questions are always not the most comfortable ones, like why we are doing this in this particular way, and why is it getting delayed, or why should I accept this? So I kept on asking these kind of questions. But what people used to think is we are being a bit difficult or foolish. But remember that every obvious solution was once a strange question. With this, I would like you all to just do a very small thing. Just go home, observe a thing which you've already seen 100 times, and just ask three things. Why? What if? And can I improve it? Because an question can become an observation can become an idea can become a prototype, and prototype can change somebody's day sometime. So stay curious, question the normal, because your voice, your questions, your perspectives are the exact tools we need to rewrite the rules. Thank you.